Warm and sunny, and this is usually ripe for some offense on a day like today. And getting set for this one-game series here, the makeup game from that chilly day in April. And the Pirates have enjoyed playing these Rockies, especially as of late.
Oh, they sure have. You look at the numbers, it's pretty darn one-sided. Everything you look at, the relievers have really done well against the Rockies. ERA under 2, but the main thing there that you see right away more than anything else was first inning runs. Look at that, 10-1. They've gotten out early.
Hitting well, pitching well, and getting that early advantage. And the Pirates are making a move after Jameson Taillon making his major league debut yesterday.
Yeah, got to try and reinforce the bullpen. Obviously, we got into a tough spot there at in the 10th inning because we ran out of pitching. And you can't have that happen. So Lobstein is now up, and hopefully we'll bolster that bullpen a little bit. We've got an extra arm.
A little bit thin bullpen-wise here. Sometimes you need it at Coors Field. Can be a lot of offense. And we'll see which one of these offenses prevails here today. The Pirates and the Rockies right after this here on Root Sports. Here this afternoon, Pirates here in Colorado for one game, making up the sleet out from April. A little bit easier to get loose today.
It's like being in Tucson or something today.
Yeah, warm and arid.
Hot, dry. I can't imagine how that ball's going to carry today.
Yeah, here in the foothills of the Rockies. And the RAV4 lineup for the visiting Pirates. Jason McCutchen, Polanco, and then Starling Marte hitting .525 in his career here at Coors. David Freese, the 5-hitter with Harrison, Mercer, Chris Stewart, and Jeff Locke to follow. Good to see Starling Marte back in the starting lineup. And John Jaso to lead things off. He's been very good in that leadoff role this year.
Chad Bettis been struggling a little bit of late. Numbers are kind of slowly drifting the wrong direction. Has never beat the Buccos.
And let's take a look at the Honda defense for Colorado. Rayburn, Blackman, and Parra. Arenado, Story, LeMahieu, Mark Reynolds, Weston Garneau, in there today. First pitch swinging and a base hit for John Jaso.
Yeah, my pitcher's point of view jumps out immediately. I think about how tough it is to pitch in this ballpark, especially an afternoon like this. And then there's base hits like that.
Here's the Rivers Casino tips to win.
Big day for the outfielders. I mean, every one of these guys, it doesn't matter. Polanco, Marte, McCutchen, you can build a great argument that they're going to have a big day. So why not all three of them? And keep the bullpen down to 6 outs. That's going to be tough to do, perhaps. But Locke went 9 last time, looking for 7 out of him this time. The bullpen seeing a lot of work of late. And we simply, last night, ran out of arms.
Today, Clint Hurdle is saying that there's definitely 3 guys available and several others that might be available. So hopefully, yeah, like you said, if you can cover the 2 or even 3 innings, very reasonable. Beyond that, you're going to need some length from Lopstein in that scenario. Never can predict here at Coors. Now McCutchen ahead in the count, 2-1.
About the room he has on the right side of the field.
It's been interesting. There's been more and more pronounced shifts against McCutchen.
LeMahieu is way over on the left side. And then, of course, you're having to hold the runner on at first. So there is anybody over on the right side of the field. I mean, that's just so weird to see at times.
And here's where he hits it. So, yeah, it looks like if it's going to be on the ground, it's going to be on that left side. So that's why they stack it up. Now full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Gregory Polanco, very, very good in that 3 spot. Due up to follow. We saw that graphic where the Pirates have gotten on the board first a lot against these Rockies. Already a bit of a threat here in the first.
Yeah, I like this setup here. You got a man on already. And McCutchen, who last time he was in this ballpark hit 3 home runs in 1 game. Polanco is a hot a hitter as you can get right now. 3 doubles last night. And then Marte, who just crushes the ball here.
Jaso running on the pitch. So after first pitch put in play by Jaso, McCutchen working a long at bat here, already 7 pitches. Walt Weiss, the manager of the Rockies. Colorado was just in LA last night. They actually shut out the Dodgers 1-0, so they got back in the wee hours as well. This was a scheduled off day here, but they'll start a homestand. Blasted into center. Blackman hauls it in.
They hit that ball very hard. Blackman, a very good center fielder, able to read it correctly. That's a tough one to read too. That line drive over your head. A little more difficult place for a center fielder right here, but Blackman able to head back and track it down.
And the Rockies with 3 Gold Glovers in the defense today. Blackman has yet to win one, but might one day.
I think he's thought of around the league as one of the better defensive outfielders, even though he doesn't have the gold patch on his glove.
Now Gregory Polanco hitting at .308, got 9 home runs. Polanco's also driven in 39. Look at the numbers a year ago today. A third of the production. 50 points on the batting average. That's great perspective to illustrate what he's done.
Well, a lot of the reason is because he hasn't swung at pitches like that one. He has been very patient this year. Not much chasing anything outside the strike zone. Got a little too aggressive with that swing.
Now the Rockies will move their infielders to 3 on the right side. Rockies are very aggressive with shifts. If it's fair, it won't be. It's going to hook quite a bit. And Gregory Polanco, look at our barrel league leaders. And among number 3 hitters in baseball. Tops in batting average, tops in slugging, tops in on base plus slugging. This is all the guys, Mike Trout and Paul Goldschmidt's on that list, Ryan Braun.
Yeah, it's where, if you look at it, traditionally, that's where you put your best hitter. So when you lead the number 3 spot, you're doing something.
And he'll reach
second.
So Polanco aboard on the fielder's choice.
Got a man in scoring position. Let's do what we were talking about earlier. Strike early.
The rookie Story on the relay. Threw him a sinker.
Left fielder number 6, Starling Marte.
Polanco at second. 2 away, and Starling Marte. Got the sunglasses on. Bright, sunshiny, warm and arid afternoon. A temperature around 90. And there's a base hit into right. Polanco waved around, and now it's kicked around by Parra in right. And the Pirates open with a 1-0 lead.
Shaky defense being played by the Rockies to open things up. They had that easy double play in front of them, messed that up, and it's cost them a run. And now this play out in the outfield as Parra kicks the ball over against the fence.
2-time Gold Glover.
That puts Marte in scoring position.
And so 2 errors in the inning. That's a single and an RBI. On Parra. And David Freese with a foul tip. Polanco running a little bit gingerly there. And now he's going to go back to the clubhouse.
I thought that swing that he made for strike 1, the way he reacted after that swing, may have done something that made him feel some discomfort.
Foul ball, and now 2 strikes. Well, on a day like this, you know, you're up flying late. You know, you get kind of some weird sleep patterns there for a bit. It's very warm and dry. Hard to stay hydrated. Sometimes you might get a cramp or something like that. Who knows? 90 here. David Freese behind 0-2. Just missed outside. Yeah, look at that.
Same grimace.
Wincing, yeah.
And right there, just the way he got up. The seat's discomfort there.
Now 2 balls and 2 strikes to Freese. Let's see how Polanco feels running this ball out.
Kind of when he was decelerating there at the end, you could see him favoring something, but early on when he was having to push it, he went fine.
Chance to pick up another run with Marte in scoring position. And Freese down on strikes, 2 in the inning. But the Pirates strike first. A run on a couple of hits, couple of errors. and the Rockies coming up. To see after looking a little uncomfortable after that first inning at bat. Now the Rockies coming to bat, and the Honda lineup for Walt Weiss here in this beautiful ballpark at Coors. Charlie Blackmon atop the order with DJ LeMahieu. Nolan Arenado leading the National League in home runs and RBIs. Ryan Rayburn cleans up today. No cargo with Trevor Story, the rookie, Mark Reynolds, Gerardo Parra, Preston Darno, and Chad Bettis on the mound for the Rocks. Jeff Locke set to work to Charlie Blackmon.
Take a look at Locke's numbers, brought to you by Hyundai. Very good numbers, as we mentioned in the opening. Really doing a great job with his control this year.
And he's going to get a little cheapy hit right there. Watch second. Yep, got to it quickly.
Kind of how the Pirates started their inning. Started off with a little kind of a cheapy hit. There was a little ground ball and perfectly placed. Little jam shot.
So Blackmon, who it can go, threat to run with 4 steals. DJ LeMahieu. His average been picking up lately, back over 300. Showed the bunt. Very much a prototypical number 2 hitter from I guess the old school these days, right?
Yeah, old school. Old stone buildings, ivy.
Maybe an archway or a pillar.
Yeah.
Now a ball and a strike. You were talking about it in the open about Jeff Locke, about how it all started to kind of come together here at this ballpark.
Yeah, up until that start, he was scuffling a little bit. And like I said, of all places to get it together and really get on a roll, you don't expect it to be Coors Field. And a really good offensive team the Rockies have, obviously.
Coming into today 5th in baseball in runs scored per game. The Pirates right behind him 6th.
But he mowed him down. And ever since then, he's extremely consistent. Consistently good.
Yeah, Locke, since then, including that start, an ERA around 3.5. But that opposing batting average, 215. Walks way down. Locke saying that he, taking more notice in studying hitters, not just relying on, his own acumen, trying to bolster that a little bit, work a little quicker. Ray Searage trying to plant that thought into his mind, and he's adapted to it. Behind here, 3-1.
I think he's changing his style around a little bit. Not so much depending on, one way. Just, fastballs in, changeups down. It really, you could tell that he's trying to get outs.
And the 3-1 hit off the wall in dead center. And Blackman is in on the double by LeMahieu. We're tied.
It's like might have a Coors Field day. I was about to say with Locke, it's like he's doing some different things now. It looks like he's either cutting the fastball, throwing a little slider at times. Oh, just poor location there. See, he missed the glove by about 1.5 feet. Needed to go in and just left it right out over the plate and up.
Well, the Rockies answer.
Always important to stay out of the middle of the plate, but at a place where the ball carries well, there are several stadiums that you got to be worried about that. Places like Cincinnati, Philadelphia, obviously here. Got to stay out of the middle of that plate.
Now Nolan Arenado, best in the league in home runs and RBIs. And has a good history against Locke as well. He's emerging as one of the very best. Defensively, offensively, Nolan Arenado.
One of those number 3 hitters. Yeah, when you were talking about that earlier, I thought that's a nice little feather in Polanco's cap. When you're talking just of baseball's number 3 hitters, to
what they've done when they've batted as the number 3 hitter.
Yeah, to be up there at the top of that list is saying something.
And we'll see if that continues. Of course, Polanco just moving up into that role over the last several weeks with 100 plate appearances there.
Well, it looks like he's trying to make it his home. He likes to hit third. He talked about that when he first went there. As he was younger, coming up through the minor leagues, always hitting third. So he's comfortable in that spot.
Three and one now. And hit into left for a base hit. Stu Cole will hold LeMahieu. 3 straight Rockies hits to begin their first.
Yeah, another one. This ball's down, but another one, as you could see there, in the middle part of the plate. And being down at the knees, I mean, that's good, but still in and out, in and out, in and out. Stay out of that middle if you can. Now, there are times in the game where you got to, like, okay, I got to throw a strike here. Maybe go for the middle of the plate, but
right now, 3 straight Rockies have reached. The cleanup man today is Ryan Rayburn. No Carlos Gonzalez in the starting lineup. And it sails into the Pirates dugout. Hurtling over the coaches.
Everybody had a duck. Get out of the way of that one. That went in there with some velocity, too.
StatCast estimated that at 71 miles an hour.
It had about a 24-degree angle departure out of his hand.
Hopefully everybody's okay. Now a ball and a strike. And another thing about Locke too is we've seen him kind of steer away from that curveball and go More with a slider as a third pitch.
Yeah, but that's an important weapon to have.
And I'm curious here at Coors, you know, you sometimes hear that breaking stuff doesn't break as much. Is a slider maybe more effective than a curveball here on a day that the breaking stuff isn't breaking?
Could be. I only had the privilege of pitching here in Denver one time, and so first-hand knowledge is not real good about the breaking ball, but you do hear guys talk about that a lot. Usually it's the guys that didn't do well that day. So you're never really sure.
Locke still looking for his first out. He's thrown 16 pitches. Single, double, single. Rocks at the corners. Each team scoring in the first. Warm day too, and you're talking about how the bullpen, you know, try to use it as little as possible. That's hard, especially on a warmer day like today too, right?
Yeah, this is not going to be easy. No getting around that.
2-2 foul.
But knowing that we could be short in the pen, I mean, we're not real sure what's going on out there. Only 3 guys available for sure. Everyone else is a question mark, so we don't really know what to read into that. But we did, you know, saw in last night's ball game what happened when you, after 10 innings, ran out of pitching, and now you have to play offense in a way you really don't want to. So not running out of pitching in that bullpen is going to be maybe difficult today. So you want a real good start from Locke, innings-wise.
Trying to stay cool. No shade down there in the Pirates' pen. 90-degree day.
We'll take a dip in the creek.
Hide underneath one of those evergreens. 3-2. And this one hit very well, and off that new fencing in right center. Only thing keeping that one in the yard, it's still a triple. And the Rockies lead 3-1.
It's definitely one of the things they've done here at Coors Field that I'm a big fan of, putting that screen up.
Another 3-ball count for Locke.
Right down the middle. Look at the location. And here the screen saves it from being a home run, knocks it down. But the screen, it doesn't really change the look of the stadium. You can see out there, I really like it. And it's done something for the pitchers. Maybe not a lot, but.
Well, if the bases are empty there, it changes.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, 2 runs instead of 3, and a chance. Yeah, that's new this year. That was just a regular, that same height all the way around.
Yeah, the screen part was not there. Anything over the solid wall was a home run before.
And Locke, in 3 out of the 4 batters now, he's gone 3 balls. He's had to come in when he's behind in the count now.
Yeah.
But he's been missing a lot of those locations, so tough to get ahead when you can't hit your spots, right?
Yeah, catch 22.
Rice Searage with a visit, hopefully to try to get Locke back on track.
Then you do come in to the center of the plate, and they hit it so hard that 22 can't catch it.
Very well done.
I don't know how well it was done.
Here's Trevor Story. I forgot we got to get our pun box out for Trevor Story.
I'm broke after the last trip there. I put about
$50.
Yeah, I don't know, a good 20 into that thing.
Now he's ahead quickly, 2 strikes. Good to see Locke get that first called strike on a ball that was pretty much down the middle.
Well, that's another thing too. If you're going to throw down the middle, do it early, get it over with. you got a chance of getting away with a pitch early, or when you're way ahead in the count, and than you do when they're just sitting there being very aggressive. Fastball down the middle on a 3-1-2-0 count. That's not going to work.
Trevor Story, 16 home runs. Tied for third in the league, but leads all of baseball in strikeouts. There's another. And that's the first out for Jeff Locke coming on his 24th pitch here in the first inning.
Yeah, it was an important one. Man third, nobody out, infield back. Don't want him to get the ball put in play to be another run.
Like a little slurve right there.
Yeah, it definitely looked a little slurvy.
I don't know if that was just a breaking changeup or his breaking ball. Sometimes the actions are a little different here, so hard to know.
It was either a big slider or a shortened up curveball.
Clint Hurdle said that the Locke's breaking ball is a little slurvy, so that kind of makes sense right there. 3 on the left side of the infield for Mark Reynolds.
It's a hybrid.
It's a good new age term for it.
Cambio down the way. Circle change, a little bit of a fade to it. Perfect spot. Good arm action.
2-0 changeup. Like to see that. Come right back in with a fastball. Reynolds didn't like the location from Will Little. Looked like it was a strike.
Yeah, it was a strike.
Ted Barrett, the crew chief, with Lance Barksdale at second. Angel Hernandez working third today. Different for the umpires too. They had to come in for just the one game. I don't know if they're going to stay for the next series or not. Rockies at home, beginning a homestand. Rolled it over, and with the infield back, the run will score. That's out number 2. RBI number 18 for Mark Reynolds.
Yeah, he just had to get something out there to the middle infield, and he was going to have the RBI.
So the first 4 men reach all via the hit. They all come around to score against Locke. But now 2 outs and the base is empty for Parra.
You know, one of the good things, if you are going to go to a city with just for one day, you know, fly in, fly out. Denver's good because the airport's so close.
You're being sarcastic. It's halfway to Kansas. Here's the pitch. All right, with a strike.
I was thinking about that last night, about how far the flight was, and it's like when you land, now you're halfway there.
For Locke, 4 runs here in the first inning. He's given up 4 runs in a start in only 2 of those last 8. So this has been highly unusual. But again, at Coors, you never know. Come right back and score 5 the next inning and have the lead.
Oh yeah, it's like a 0-0 right now. Nothing's
been decided.
It's like the Rockies don't even really have that big of an advantage right now.
Weekly hit to first, and they get the out. Jeff Locke needs 34 pitches to get through the first. 4-1 Colorado lead. start, but rebounded to get the final 3. 4 runs across for the Rockies. 2 on the Ryan Rayburn triple. And a look at the Point Park tweets for today. Mark Melanson late last night as we headed out here. Hey Rockies, before we get on this plane, make sure there's no rain delay today. Melanson grew up in Golden, Colorado, not far from here, in the foothills of the Rockies, and Rockies tweeting it back. This is what Siri's saying at that moment. And then for today, warm and sunny. You don't know what you're going to get scoring wise here or weather wise. But when it's nice, and usually in the summer, it's late spring, summer, it's very nice here. It is a great place to be. Josh Harrison looking to get some of them back against Chad Bettis. I wonder, see in June. Oh, well, yeah, there's still snow up in the Rockies. Yeah. Higher elevations.
Yeah, my guess is it's not 90 right there.
Base hit for Josh Harrison. So the Pirates.
It's going to be one of those days, huh?
Yeah. Who outscores who? I would imagine as a pitcher here, you're just trying to pitch to the ball game. You can't think about ERA, your record. You know, you're just trying to pitch to the ball game, right?
Yeah, you just got what you got to do better than the guy on the other team. So their pitcher, just do better than him. You're trying to really focus on the one stat that really is the most meaningful, and that who wins the game.
Harrison a threat to run. He stole twice yesterday.
You're going to give up a couple more runs than pitchers that, you know, per game, a couple more runs per game than pitchers that are throwing in pitcher friendly ballparks. It's just something you got to deal with, but that doesn't mean you can't win.
First pitch strike to Jordy Mercer. And the Rockies on this last road trip, a 6-game trip, they posted an ERA of 2.6. Looking at their outfit as a whole on the road, they're, you know, a top 10 pitching staff if you like ERA and opponent's batting average. Those numbers usually tell you. And in the air to center, Blackman drifting back a couple of steps.
We saw Locke earlier sitting in the dugout. You know, he's kind of like, you can tell he's not happy. He's just kind of staring out the field right now. And I'm just thinking it really is a mental challenge to pitch in this ballpark during the game. Is it? I mean, you're going to feel bad that you gave up those runs and all of that, but you have to figure out some way to deal with that in your mind, where you don't get consumed by it, and you can go back out there and continue to do your job, or, you know, make your pitches, and at the end of the day, whatever the cards show, they show.
And to give an idea of what the Rockies have done pitching wise here at this ballpark, they're dead last in every category because it's this ballpark. You know, the decent staff on the road, here at home. That just shows you there's going to be a lot of runs scored. 4 runs in the first inning. How many teams score 5 runs here? Almost every night, both teams score 5 runs.
Yeah.
The Rockies average 5 runs. The Pirates average 5 runs in a normal Earth-like ballpark. But those are the mind games, right? Yeah, I would imagine you'd have to play. Clint Hurdle was talking about that to reporters before the game, about how when he was the manager here, trying to instill that mindset in his starting pitchers, some were able to adapt to it and some were not. And those who did ended up being successful. You can have a winning record in an ERA over 5 here.
Sure, no doubt. You know, and you also have to realize too, you know, you're thinking of your career like, wow, someday I'd like to be a free agent, go somewhere and maybe get a big long-term contract. But that E5 ERA here is really not going to hurt you as long as you have that winning record, because other teams are going to take that into effect. They're going to say, or they're going to look at you and they're going to say, well, this guy, he pitches at Coors Field, but he still goes out and wins. He must be a little bit of a, you know, a bulldog out there.
The left arm and the tricep area.
He has got all kinds of bruises on that body.
He got hit in the right arm with a pitch when he was catching last week.
Yeah, he is black and blue all over the place right now.
He has a lot of arm discomfort. Both sides. He's at first. Harrison at second with one out. Locke will try to move him up. Already put down 5 sacrifice punts. Four to 1 Colorado through an inning. Arno came up ready to throw to second. Harrison getting some liberties. Rookie catcher.
Harrison's always so aggressive out there on the bases. Imagine most catchers. They take it as a challenge when he gets on. Maybe pick him off or throw him out one way or another. And he takes it as a challenge. He loves getting into the pitcher's head, especially when he's at second base.
I think he was doing it with Noah Syndergaard last night.
Big aggressive leads.
One's wide and 2-1. Strike taken that time.
Take a shot at Jay Hay.
Try to make sure he stays close. The second baseman abandoning the bag.
I said something to him. We saw him laugh.
And taking a strike 3. Locke never attempted the bunt.
Took all 3 of them.
First baseman.
Hey, fireworks light up the Pittsburgh skyline on Saturday at PNC Park. You can watch the Pirates and the Cardinals at 7:15. Stay after the game for a Zambelli fireworks show presented by PPG. For tickets, go to pirates.com and come on out. See the Pirates and the Cardinals. Series begins tomorrow night. Lots of Pirate pride. Old school looks. John Jaso with a 2-out chance. Late strike call. Jaso with a base hit back in the first. Will Little, the borderline strike, and Jaso down to end the inning. So a hit and 2 left through 1.5, 4-1 Colorado. bottom of the second. And here's today's Allegheny Health Network injury update. Rockies catcher Tony Walters on the 7-day concussion disabled list for about a week after leaving the game back on June the 2nd. Took that foul ball off his mask. And veteran Nick Hundley, who has had concussion issues of his own, came off the DL to take his place. So the Rockies are just trying to keep a couple guys healthy. Nice Dave Parker jersey, and today his birthday. Number 56 for the Cobra. 65. 56 seems a little young, right? I guess. 65th birthday. Is he really 65 years old already? Wow.
Yeah. Bill Verdon, happy birthday to Bill.
Bill Verdon's birthday today, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Always
he's
wishing him
57.
Well.
56, something like that. The Cobra and the Quail.
Base hit for Garneau. And extra bases here in this park. No doubt. And a double. That's the third extra base hit for the Rockies.
These corners don't curl in like a lot of other ballparks too. So when the ball does go all the way in the corner, it's way out there. You're not going to hold somebody to a long single very often.
Yeah, even with a catcher running.
It's almost 350 feet to that foul pole.
Need binoculars to see Marte out there. Now the pitcher Chad Bettis trying to move him over. Ball one. Now this ballpark of very large dimensions in an effort with the ball traveling through the rarefied air to not leave the ballpark as easily. The sacrifice is successful. 3-4, moving Garneau to third.
The unsuccessful sacrifice bunt. I think that kind of contributed to the 0 that the Pirates put up at the top of the inning. Infield will have to come in now.
Yeah, you get second and third and 2 outs. Kind of a different feeling.
An opportunity where, we get a single, you can score a couple of runs. Jaso takes his at bat a little different. The pitcher is going to pitch a little different. Important, obviously, to get those bunts down. What would you say is the success ratio, like when they get us, not for the Pirates, but in baseball?
Pops up Blackman.
Yeah, bunt didn't work out there. Got him over. Blackman couldn't get it done.
After singling his first time.
I think it's like 80%, 8 out of 10. The guys that get the sacrifice sign, get it down and move the runner.
I'm not sure.
That's how you get the pop fly. You get the sign, the target in on the hands, and that's where Locke put it.
Now DJ LeMahieu had an RBI double. Locke needed 34 pitches to get through the first. He's only thrown 7 so far this inning. Like that ball. What are pitchers looking for when they get a new baseball? What's wrong with the old ball?
I don't think anybody's really the same. I wanted one that you could feel some decent seams on it. Didn't feel slick.
Now 3 balls and no strikes. Was that so you could spin the ball and have a little bit more
right? I wanted
to it.
To feel it coming off the tips of my fingers. I didn't want it to feel like it was slipping at all. See, everybody has different concerns out there. My concern was always control. That's something I always battled constantly. And so if the ball didn't feel like comfortable in your hand, it was a big deal.
Jeff Locke
used to really be able to take advantage of the balls that were in play for a while. And nowadays, balls, you use maybe 2 or 3 balls on every hitter that goes up there.
Locke had not issued a walk in more than 21 innings.
You could theoretically, get through an inning with the same baseball if you get any foul balls. But doesn't happen anymore.
Big slugger Arenado down to strike. Yeah, the baseball's all rubbed up with a special mud, Lena Blackburn mud.
Secret sauce.
Can't use anything else. Fair ball. And Garneau will score. And now that it's kicking away, LeMahieu will score. Arenado bringing in a pair, and the Rockies up 6-1 here in the second inning.
Oh, hit something there along the sidewall and took a crazy bounce off it. Easily getting by Marte. Ball's hit hard also. Got that ball inside, but oh, okay, I see what happened. Ball didn't get by the angle.
There's a lot of room in that corner. It's not really even a corner. It's just kind of an apartment over there.
The prairie. Surprised they don't have prairie dogs in this outfield. So big. Buffalo roaming around.
Maybe during road trips. Arenado, the league leader in RBIs, numbers 50 and 51. Popped him up. And now Locke will get out of the inning, but not before the Rockies add a pair. They lead 6-1 after 2. Hutchin will lead things off. What do you think about that?
Good.
Well, I'm curious because
it's good to see.
Well, with Ventura, 9 games, that's 1 start. There's a strike. You drop the appeal at the right time, right after you start. You miss 1 start. And Machado's going to miss 4 games as an everyday player. Ventura the guy that came after him. So I don't know. I don't know if baseball could suspend him for 15 games.
I don't mind that stuff. It's fine. That's good. I like that stuff. So the suspensions, they just come with the territory.
Left it up, and the base hit for Andrew McCutchen. He's hit the ball hard a couple of times to center now. Well, the Pirates have had the leadoff man on in each inning. Well, they wanted it up.
I guess that was the wrong decision. Wrong pitch to throw, huh? He put it right there. He got whacked. You know, if you look, if you look at his hot, cold zone sheet, the high pitch is one of his hot zones.
For McCutchen?
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe they got the pages mixed up.
Yeah, they're colorblind. But that's red, and some other spots are blue. But high down the middle is red. Hot zone. I don't have it here in front of me.
I trust you.
I remember it from a few days ago when I did have one.
Gregory Polanco has scored the lone run for the Buccos. Reached on the fielder's choice back in the first. Rockies made 2 errors in that first inning. Pirates took a brief lead. The Rockies have rebounded 4 extra base hits already. Polanco thinks Will Little has a big strike zone.
He did on that one. Polanco said, "My knees are a lot higher than that." See how tall I am?
And now you got to swing at that pitch, right?
Yep. You got to honor it now.
It's a subject of talk, trying to raise the bottom of the strike zone, which is as low as it's ever been, beneath the hollow of the knees. Three and 2 on Polanco with McCutchen aboard. Decent crowd shaping up for this makeup game. It's a strike 3 call.
Well, in reality, Polanco did not get a strike the entire at bat.
It's going to be very frustrating.
That was a big strike zone that time. Look, do you see one that hit the strike zone? I don't.
So a 6-pitch walk? No, a strikeout. What? He did swing once. Pirates have been called out on strikes twice now. Marte drove in the Pirates run back in the first. Two balls at a strike on Marte. Continuing to hit well here at Coors. With that base hit after the first time.
Took it the other way, and now they're trying to really crowd him.
Now 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Big outfield. And left center. Nice gap out there. Nice and deep.
Lots of room to run if he hits it out there. Another full count. Warm day here. David Freese go up to follow. Pitcher's really working out there.
Got him.
And hit with a pitch.
Oh, he went way inside 3 times. Eventually he's going to hit him.
Marte hit for the 9th time.
Third baseman, number 23, David Freese.
Look how far inside that pitch is. Just bounced off the tip of the elbow.
That elbow guard on there. Good images from our Allegheny Health Network Supermo. Now David Freese with 2 men on. Freese at 291. McCutchen the lead runner. Marte trails at first.
Bat is kind of all over the place this inning. If you actually think about how many balls have actually hit the strike zone. Not too many.
None in the Polanco at bat.
Well, we saw that. Wasn't the pitch to McCutchen wasn't that high also? The one they banged
Right,
for
that
the
was
base
out of
hit?
out of the strike zone. The one that was called to Marte was a strike, and he swung at another one.
He's thrown like maybe 2 strikes the whole inning. 3 now.
Hit well to right. Hara looking up, and there it goes, a home run. 3-run shot for David Freese. Number 5, and the Pirates right back in it. It's 6-4.
It's the way the afternoon's going to go. He's going to be kind of the last man standing. He's going to trade some big blows, big punches.
Freese going the other way over that tall wall and right.
You know, now, this situation here, this inning, yeah, as a pitcher, you're probably thinking, Coors Field got me again. But Coors Field didn't get him. All these pitches he's thrown, he's found the strike zone 3 times. He set himself up for this inning. I mean,
and that was a good piece of hitting by Freese right there.
It is Coors Field, but you have to pitch. You have a 6-run lead. Why are you all over the place, hitting people, missing the strike zone by a foot inside, then the next pitch a foot outside? What?
That was nowhere close.
Yeah, the catcher can hardly reach far enough to catch it. So how's that Coors Field?
Is this fair? Yes, and toward the corner. Extra bases for Harrison. And he'll glide into second with a double. He's got 2 hits today. Josh Harrison keeps on hitting.
Yeah, it could be a year he challenges for the batting title.
I was just thinking the same thing. 328 now for Harrison. He has not gone on any really prolonged slump. And when he does, he busts out of it so quickly you forget about it. Mercer takes ball 1. So let's see. Bettis, by our estimation, has thrown 4 strikes in this inning, and 3 of them have been base hits. Single, double, and a home run.
The hitters sitting here, they're watching it. They're thinking, okay, this guy's all over the place. I can get myself to a good hitting count to where he has to come right down the middle.
That's the second out.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of that with Locke in that first inning when he gave up 4 runs. Remember, he was getting behind in the plate and having to come to the center to throw a strike, and they were hitting it.
Freeze with that 3-run home run. Already 10 runs scored. We're still in the top of the third.
You got to have command inside the strike zone, no matter what the elevation is. Elevation of the ballpark. Good pitch there. Put that on the outside corner.
Josh Harrison with the double following the Freeze 3-run home run. This one hit well. It'll get Harrison in easily and misplayed by Rayburn. That'll allow Stewart to get into second base, and the Pirates back to within a run, 6-5.
Rocky outfield play a little shaky. We saw a similar play back in the first out in right field.
Definitely a run batted in for Stewart, his 6th. Question of whether it's a single and an error. I think so. They might give him 2 on this, but we'll see. Yep, single and an error. Second one made by the Rockies outfield already. And 3rd Rockies error today. Now 1-2 on Jeff Locke, having to swing the bat with 2 outs. Harrison with that double, reigniting another rally. Now 2-2. Chad Bettis has that pitch count nearing 70. The Rockies bullpen has been active. Jorge De La Rosa is getting up. No longer in the rotation. Three and two. Trevor Story will end the inning with 32 pitches thrown by Bettis. He's at 70 through 3 innings. And the Pirates with 4. 3 off the bat of David Freese. Right back in this thing here in a crazy day at Coors.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network. Health for all. By Bordas & Bordas, official legal partners of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Visit bordaslaw.com. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go Bucks!
Bottom of the third inning coming up. This is already a very robust final score. We're almost a third of the way through this one at 6-5 Colorado. David Freese with a 3-run home run. Josh Harrison a couple of hits, scoring a run. And undoubtedly giving Jeff Locke a little confidence that after his first 2 innings he can still be very much in this game.
The mental challenge. Here it is. You got to put aside somehow mentally the 6 runs you've given up and just think, okay, it's a 1-0 ball game.
Look at the Point Park tweets. Funny that Freese hurts the Rockies on a hot day. That's pretty good, Jake. Trevor Story lofting this one out to right. One away. And Ryan said David's bat has some freeze pop. Mooch, there's a freeze warning in Colorado. Don't say that. We've already been through one of those. Got the gray shoes today. Nifty kicks. So far we haven't had any story puns, Bob, but our tweeters are coming up with some freeze puns, so maybe charge them a dime.
Price of a freeze pop.
Yeah. Think about the things that you get called when you're a kid, right? David Freese, I'm sure they probably had something. Oh, David Freese, this, that. For me, it was always blockhead, from Charlie Brown. Man, that used to just get me. You could just
you hated that, huh?
You could crush me. Hey, blockhead. Oh. How about your name? Did you ever get anything with your name?
Yeah, for a long time. Not even just being the pitching part of it.
Oh, walk, pitching, yeah.
Yeah, that people are always having fun with that. What happened to your ER?
Count even on Mark Reynolds. First time either team had the leadoff man retired.
Jeff's done a nice job here staying out of the middle part of the strike zone. Hitting some spots. Make it difficult on Reynolds. Middle of the strike zone. Bear.
Foul ball.
Reynolds thought he had himself an infield hit, driving it down off the plate.
Happy to have that baseball. Quite a mane, that child. Fit right in with the Mets starting rotation. Hey, Jeff Locke's not bad himself.
Saw somebody today on the Houston team might have the longest hair of any of them.
And 2 gone, and the second strikeout from Jeff Locke. And it's Kids Day at PNC Park this Sunday when the Bucks take on the Cardinals at 5:05. Kids 14 and younger receive a Tech t-shirt presented by Highmark. You can get your tickets at pirates.com. Check out some great baseball. Get yourself a shirt for the kids. Everyone all smiles here at Coors Field. Isotopes hat on. AAA affiliate of the Rockies.
Decent crowd for a makeup game.
I was impressed. Yeah, this is a very big ballpark too. So
a lot of people here.
Watched a couple of games here from the seats and have very much enjoyed it, especially as they've made changes through the years, adding different features. Now these Rockies opened up at the old Mile High Stadium, home of the Broncos, before this was built. Prior to the '95 season, their third season in baseball. She's on duty, apparently. And Harrison trying for a spectacular play there, but it'll be an infield hit for Gerardo Parra.
A little bit of a collision there. Parra saying sorry, but not really a whole lot Parra could do. I mean, he's trying to leg one out here. He's going as hard as he could, and then Jaso moving right in his way as he was coming across the bag.
Would have taken a perfect spin and throw.
Seen a lot of guys get hurt some of the plays like that.
Not very comfortable, I'm sure, to run into a guy out there. Belted to left, but right, and Marte. And a nice tidy inning for Jeff Locke. 2-out infield single left stranded. Pirates trail it 6-5.
It's time for the Toyota RAV4th inning. The all-wheel drive RAV hybrid has performance that will make you rethink hybrid. Let's go Bucks!
Fourth inning on this warm and sunny afternoon here in Denver. The Rockies on top 6-5. New pitcher already for Colorado.
De La Rosa. Let's see if he can have a little bit better luck, maybe better command. ERA not very pretty, but only 27 innings, so he can move that down fairly quickly if he starts putting up zeros. Opponent batting average, wow, that's up there a little bit even for Coors Field.
You're very kind. He's pitched twice out of the bullpen so far, 1 run over 4 innings in those 2 outings. Left-handed batting Jaso with McCutchen, and then another lefty Polanco.
There's a win to be had for the bullpen here. Well, I guess they give it to whoever they want, right? Isn't that the rule? If the Rockies can win this one.
Whoever's pitching effectively, if they maintain the lead. Otherwise, if it changes,
well, Bettis can't get it. He didn't go 5.
It would have to be a Rockies lead throughout the rest of the game. No ties.
really no reason to discuss this, is it? Because it's a one-run ball game and
there will be 70
day
more
game in
runs
Colorado
scored.
in the middle of the summer.
Reynolds to De La Rosa for the first out.
My guess is there'll be a plethora of pitchers to choose from too.
Like you said, who's left standing? First time that the Rockies have retired the leadoff man for the Pirates. School's out for most kids now, so Thursday afternoon, try to get you out of the house. Eat some lettuce. Hey, what do you want to do today? Want to go to Rockies game? Eat some lettuce?
Give you a little bread with that lettuce.
Yeah, hey.
Yeah, really, I'm not surprised there is such a decent crowd. I mean, this is a
He really is eating.
great afternoon to be out here. And,
see?
yeah.
Get me some
I was getting
lettuce.
getting rid of some of that lettuce. It was too much lettuce.
Yeah. Still haven't even gotten into the burger yet. Chicken sandwich or
That's like a burger.
one missed. And now 2-1. McCutchen has hit very well against lefties in his career. One of the best over the last several years in baseball. Now the kid just needs a ball, right?
Get ready.
What a nice second chance for all the Pirates faithful that are here. Getting a second chance to see the Pirates, usually scheduled just for the one trip. Now full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. The Pirates originally had a game here back on April the 29th. It was temperatures were in the 30s. There was a wintry mix. And the Rockies decided to postpone it after just didn't look like it would be suitable for baseball.
And that's really an example of the problems that Kutcher's been having this year, is leaving the strike zone and swinging at bad pitches. That one's a foot maybe inside.
Ball 4.
They're really scuffling with that, swinging at strikes.
The strikeout numbers are up, leading the team in that category. It's been a tough go of things. I was talking with him today about that thumb concern. He says that's feeling better, so that's good. Just can't really put his finger on one thing. But yeah, if you could, from our vantage point, yeah. Just,
I mean, it's real easy to say, oh, just quit swinging at the bad pitches. Well, it's not like he doesn't know he's chasing bad pitches. It's hard to not swing at him. If it wasn't, he wouldn't be swinging at him.
This one foul. 1-2 on Polanco. De La Rosa
Look at that
up a
inning.
1-2-3 inning. Things starting to settle down a bit here in Denver. 6-5 Rockies.
Up on the rooftop.
Let's take a look at our day automotive. This day in Pirates history, we go back 42 years. The Bucks beat the Giants 14-1, and Richie Zisk hit for the cycle. He drove in 5. He scored 4 runs. Willie Stargell with 3 hits, 2 of them out of the ballpark. He drove in 6, and Jerry Royce going the distance for the win, allowing just the 1 run.
What a great name for a ballpark, Candlestick. I love that name.
They just demolished Candlestick, I believe, last year, right?
Yeah, didn't need it anymore.
The 49ers moving into a new facility down in Santa Clara, so Candlestick Point vacant when you drive by on the freeway there. Kind of strange to see it not there anymore. Jorge De La Rosa, the pitcher, will start things. I mean, you didn't pitch all that long ago, and you know 2/3 of the ballparks that were around at that time are gone. De La Rosa walks.
It's more than that.
Well, because when you pitch, that's basically the time that I was growing up watching baseball, and I don't even go to ballparks anymore that I remember watching.
Dodger Stadium, Wrigley Field,
Anaheim, Oakland.
Well, I'm thinking the ones I pitched in.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Could be it.
Yeah, Wrigley, Dodger Stadium.
I can't think of another one.
A's, Angels, and Fenway, and those are in the American League. So those are basically the parks that are still.
It happened fast.
Still around.
You know what is really amazing? Starting, I guess, maybe next year in Atlanta, they'll be on their 3rd ballpark.
In Atlanta.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, there would have been an entire
years.
ballpark that came and disappeared during my announcing tenure, which to me seems really weird.
That's where I called my first big league game, was at Turner Field. This one hit well in the center, hanging up there long enough for McCutchen to run it down. Yeah, that's that next year will be the 52nd year of the Braves being in Atlanta, and they'll have 3 ballparks.
Yeah.
Forbes Field lasted 60+ years, and Wrigley and Fenway have been around for more than 100. So,
well, Fulton County was horrible, so they really needed something different. I always thought Turner Field was a pretty nice place.
Now, Georgia State is going to move in and play football there.
Yeah, that, to me, was one of the nicest ballparks we go to, but I guess the location wasn't what they wanted, what they needed.
The Braves saying they would like to centralize their season ticket base in the northern suburbs, so they are steering away from the city itself. We were just in Texas, and the Rangers talking about maybe even a new ballpark. LeMahieu hits it well to left, and this one's going to jump out of here. Leadoff walk to the pitcher, and then a 2-run home run from LeMahieu.
Nobody out there in the bullpen. It looks like one of those days Locke might have to really wear a lot of earned runs. Yesterday and last night, if you remember, that Pirates ran out of pitching quickly in that ball game. The bullpen was a little short to begin the game, and that could be the case again here this afternoon. So Locke is having to kind of wear this one. 8 earned runs now and 3+ innings.
Matches a career high, equaled earlier this year against San Diego. Look on our Allegheny Health Network Supermo. But still very much in this ball game. It's a 3-run game in the 4th inning.
Oh yeah, he might give up 8 earned runs and still get a W.
That would break my machine over here. Have to look that one up. That's the last time a guy gave up 8 runs and 1. But yeah, you're right. I
What's
mean,
the record? Most earned runs given
yeah.
up and getting a win.
That's fascinating.
It is. It's very fascinating.
I'm sure it's involved this ballpark, or at least in the last 25 years.
The modern era.
The most modern of eras. 2-2 on the dangerous Arenado was singled and doubled, driven in 2. Now you're right. The Rockies already pulling their starter, Chad Bettis, after 3 innings. They have that luxury after pitching in a 1-0 game yesterday. Their bullpen rested. Might get Arenado for the first time today. And they do. But Clint Hurdle saying today, he's got 3 guys that for sure are available out of that bullpen, out of the 7 that sit down there, and the other 4 are question marks. Not always easy decisions for the manager. You look at the game last night with Sean Rodriguez batting with 2 men on in the 10th inning, and some folks are saying, well, why didn't he bunt, move the guys over? And as Clint Hurdle explained it, well, then what? He was down to his last pitcher, and Sean Rodriguez is going to probably have to come in and pitch.
Yeah.
Nice play by David Freese.
Talked to Sean today. He was hoping for a tie game. He wanted to pitch.
Let's hope it doesn't get there today. Pirates still hanging around. It's 8-5 Rockies.
As we hit the 5th in favor of the Rockies, I'm Robbie. It's Mikowski. Last night was a late-night flight for the Buccos, and manager Clint Hurdle let the players dress down a little bit under one condition, that they wear Penguins jerseys. This has been done in previous years, but the skipper wanted to show his support. Everybody on the traveling party wore a Penguins jersey the whole way. Good stuff on the Pirates' end, supporting the Pittsburgh Penguins as they play the San Jose Sharks tonight. Game 5, they could win it all tonight. And get this, Joe and Bob, Clint Hurdle had 4 tickets for the game tonight. Obviously, he couldn't go because he is here in Denver managing the Pirates. So get this. His sister and brother-in-law are who he gave the tickets to. They have never even been to a hockey game in their entire lives, and they have a chance to watch the Pittsburgh Penguins hoist the cup in front of their own 2 eyes. Clint said he'll celebrate their joy with them and hopefully run into a party when they get home later tonight. Clint Hurdle could help celebrate a Penguin Stanley Cup title, hopefully.
Yeah, Robbie, I hope we're all celebrating when we get back. What a disappointment it's going to be for their second hockey game. Starling Marte trying to beat out an infield hit. Arenado, the Gold Glover, so good. Robbing him of that joy. And a lot of Bucks and Pucks fans coming all the way from PA. Penguins tonight with that opportunity.
Right down Interstate 70.
Yeah, just head on down for a day. Cool note that Jim Trudinich, the fantastic media relations officer for the Pirates, coming up with the last time a Pittsburgh team won at home in Pittsburgh were the Pirates back in 1960. So when the Pirates have won in the 70s, when the Steelers have won Super Bowls, of course, they're at neutral sites. When the Penguins won, these were all on the road. David Freese homering his last time. Now 2-2. Wait a minute. You're in the wrong place. Maybe a scout?
Scouts, yeah, scouts. We go to Chicago on the next road trip. They're getting ready. They're making the reports.
Pirates beating the Cubs last time around, so Cubs maybe need all the intel that they can get. They made a trade today. They acquired Chris Coughlin again from the A's for Arizmendi Alcantara. And Freeze down on strikes. De La Rosa pitching well in relief. So Chris Coughlin will be back, assumedly, in a Cubs uniform when the two teams meet again.
You were telling me earlier that who was it got released today? Pitcher. Matt Matos.
Matt Latos.
Latos, I mean, yeah. He was an unbelievable start to his
Jimmicky
season.
or Jimeki or Matos.
Matos. Latos.
Well, you tell me a story about how you
Vernon Jimmicky.
Jimeki, that's right. But Jimmy Key and how his name was combined one time on a
It was every day combined.
scratch note that you were given. Who's this?
Latos was 5-0 start the season, right? Released.
And 2-1, 2-3 innings for De La Rosa.
On Root Sports is brought to you by the all-new Chevy Cruze and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Barrel. Visit Barrel.com to learn more about our 3 conveniently located collision centers. Let's go Bucks!
5th inning, and the Pirates trailing at 8-5. Wild afternoon here at Coors. Trevor Story, the rookie. And Reynolds and Parra to follow against Jeff Locke. A he's hung in there today. The Rockies have not made it easy for him. He's given up a couple of doubles, or 3 doubles, in fact, a triple, home run. But on a day where the Pirates bullpen very thin, he's been asked to continue. Though his spot is due up 3rd in the 6th, so might be looking at the last frame for Locke.
You know, if he gets this inning over quickly, though, I wonder, because things are the way they are, will you just go ahead and just let him hit?
I wonder, yeah. 2 outs, nobody on.
You're only down by 3 runs in this game.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it might depend on the scenario. 2 outs, nobody on.
If he's at 100 pitches, then maybe that'll get him out anyway.
Trevor Story with his first hit of the day. Rockies have collected 9 hits off Jeff Locke.
And now it does look like there will be some throwing in the bullpen.
Well, Kyle Lobstein was recalled today. Jamison Tyone sent back to the minors after that good debut yesterday, but the Pirates needing somebody in their bullpen, needing relief help, and there is Lobstein, who has not pitched in some time down in Indy, so give you plenty of length today. Here's Mark Reynolds, so for 2, the run batted in. 8-5 Rockies in the 5th. Good off-speed pitch, 2 strikes. When Locke's been able to get ahead like this, he's been way more effective today. He's been behind in a lot of counts. That's kept him having to come in with stuff, and the Rockies have taken advantage. Story with 3 steals. He's been thrown out 3 times. Just trying to keep him close. And he's going to go. Hit in the air. Very deep right center. McCutchen with the runner going, able to get it in with plenty of time. Now let's go downstairs to Robbie. We're just talking about Jamison Tyone. What do you got?
Yeah, well, first thing is, Pirate fans are going to love this guy. Here's a Point Park Instagram that he brought up. Dreams don't even do it justice. Super, super thankful to my family for dropping everything in their lives to be a huge part of one of the biggest nights of my life. Hashtag Pants Down League. It's a reference to Pirates big leaguers able to wear their pants all the way down. Minor leaguers have to wear them up to their knees. It was crazy with Tyone's family. Father Mike was doing some work in Alberta, Canada. He flew there. Mom and sister came from Houston. One brother came from Seattle. Another brother came from New York City. Godparents came in from somewhere in Canada. I'm drawing a blank where, but it was really impressive, the family support that he had yesterday. Of course, we spoke to his father, Mike, but a real appreciative guy, appreciative not only to his family, but he's very quick to give thanks to the trainers, the rehab coordinators, everyone that's helped him the last 2 years overcome the Tommy John surgery and the hernia surgery to make his big league debut last night. Believe me, people are really going to root for this guy once he's a fixture in the Pirates rotation.
Already did last night a little bit, yeah, as folks getting to know his story, and he'll be back. He can definitely help at some point, and helped last night. 3 runs in 6 innings. And what Francisco Cervelli was saying about him too. Just the poise that he showed. You know, a major league debut, and it didn't seem phased or daunted by the task at hand.
Going to have a long, successful career. He's got everything it takes.
Now behind on Parra, 1-0. Infield hit last time. 8-5 Rockies in the 5th. And playing deep as you do here at this ballpark, that's a base hit.
So many things that play into the offense's favor here. That obviously is one of them. Everybody has to play deep. So in this big outfield, there is plenty of room for everything to fall in for hits.
Even with a very speedy outfield.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. There's just too much acreage out there. And then also, look how deep everybody is. So when does anybody ever get thrown out at the plate? That never happens either.
Ray Searage is going to make his way out to the mound. Kyle Lobstein continuing to loosen in the Pirates' pen. Pirates would really like for Locke to get through this inning. Kind of think now that there's pretty much no way that he continues after this, but you get him out of here, then you can pinch hit for him. Lobstein can go maybe even 3 innings, depending on where they are in the game, and reset your bullpen for tomorrow. Remember, a 3-game weekend series at home against the Cardinals begins tomorrow.
Very important 3 games with the Cardinals. One of the teams that you're directly competing against for a playoff spot. Those are 3 big games, and you want to have a rested bullpen for that.
Locke, after that 34-pitch first inning, has pretty much had efficient innings pitch-wise since then. With the lead runner Story at second, Parra on at first, and Dustin Garneau has not run very well. Ground ball here could get Locke out of the inning. Locke throwing him that first pitch curveball, just trying to get something over here. Command has wavered a little bit. We talked about how good he's been. He's only walked 2, but still, that's been about as much as we've seen from Jeff Locke in any of his recent starts. Now behind 2-0. Swinging a foul back, now 2-1. Garneau doubled the lead off the second inning, lined out sharply in the third. And this goes to the backstop, moving up the runners. That changes this inning.
A very wild breaking ball, and you were just talking about Locke, just 2 walks, but I still think this control, even though it's 2 walks, has not been his best. He hasn't pitched control-wise like we've seen him in the last month and a half or so. He's been wild in the strike zone. He's had a couple innings where he's fallen behind his accounts. Field right in on the grass, trying to cut off any extra runs.
Now full on Garneau. I can't get the double play now, or at least not a conventional one. And with that infield in, De La Rosa on deck. The pitcher walked last time. And that pitch count rising on a very warm afternoon. 90 degrees or thereabouts. And he walked him. Third walk issued by Locke today. Locke hadn't walked 3 batters in a start since April 20th. Obstein ready if needed. The Pirates would love for Locke to be able to get out of this inning.
I love for him to throw a ground ball here. That base on balls there might not have been the worst thing that can happen. If you can get De La Rosa to hit a ground ball to middle infielder. Or maybe back to the mound. You think you might try and bunt for base hit?
Yeah, I'm smelling a
squeeze.
I'm smelling a squeeze here. We'll see. There it is. And Locke will have to throw on to first, and they get it.
Good call.
Veteran pitcher who handles the bat well. And the Rockies pick up a run.
You know, the one thing that even when you do that, this is kind of a safety squeeze. Nobody's breaking. He's squaring around early, and his job is just make the pitcher have to go far enough to get the ball to where now the guy can run home, and that's exactly what he did. But even if it doesn't work, even if the bunt is closer to the pitcher and he's got to play for a force out at the plate, you stay out of that double play. Where if you let him swing, maybe hits a ground ball, inning over, and you don't get the situation you're in right now where you have a regular hitter, a pretty good one like Blackman up there with a couple of runners in scoring position.
Well, 9-3 Rockies. This is his career high now for Locke, giving up 9 runs.
Smart play and real good execution by the
9-5, I beg your
by
pardon.
the Rockies. Tried to call him the Padres for a moment there.
I gave the wrong score. You gave the wrong team. That's all right.
Yeah.
We need more coffee.
We'll have to call that a Jamaica moment.
Yeah.
You know what? It would be. This is a good coffee time right now. That's a good call on your part. Again, there's 2 good calls this inning.
Thank you, Bob. He's trying to fit in. Just missed. So Locke's next pitch will be his 100th. He has surpassed that 3 times. Trying to keep it at 4 runs here. That one's going to go foul. A couple of the singles, a walk. Locke really hanging in there today. The Pirates bullpen is battered. Just trying to keep the Pirates in this game, which they are in this ballpark in the 5th inning. But 2 men in scoring position, can't afford to see them come across. Then it starts to get a little dicey. Need one more big pitch from Locke. And little poke into right's going to score 1, and Garneau is going to score 2, and it's 11-5 Colorado.
A game like this absolutely crushes your earned run average for a long time.
He's given up 11 earned runs today, and boy, how did he hit that pitch?
I don't know. Blackman drugged the head of the bat through the dirt to hit that one. That is bad luck.
And now you got to go get Locke. There's nothing more you can do now. He almost got out of it with 9-5, but give Jeff Locke a lot of credit. It wasn't by far his best afternoon, but he tried to last as long as he could. Keep that bullpen from having to come in, and that deserves some merit. And so 11-5 Colorado here in the 5th inning.
Telecast is presented by the authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Jeff Locke, a tough afternoon. Career most 11 runs allowed. And Kyle Lobstein comes aboard, trying to get that final out.
Kyle's numbers with the Pirates. Let's see, 10 games, 20 innings. He's been out there in multiple inning situations quite often.
Sean Rodriguez into the game at second base on the double switch. The pitcher spot originally due up third. Mayhew has homered, he's doubled, he's walked, he's scored all 3 times. That's what that red diamond means. So Harrison is out on that double switch. Nothing he did, he just happened to make the last out. Walk. Now for Locke, you got to give him some credit today for taking one for the team. It was not going his way. And in the last century of Pirates baseball, he's one of 7 pitchers to allow 11 earned runs in a start. And he doesn't do that unless he's willing to stick it out and, you know, try to give some length for Clint Hurdle and try to keep this bullpen at bay as long as he could.
It's just the situation they were in. You had to have some length from your starter today. Try and save the bullpen as best you can. You didn't want that scenario that happened last night to repeat itself. It's just a tough assignment. Hot afternoon game at Coors Field, middle of the summer. Tough pitching conditions.
Arenado. Looks like the ballpark will hold it. And that gets the Rockies out of that inning after scoring 3 more. Music from AWOL Nation coming to Stage AE on July 7th. Wild one so far through 5, 11-5. Rockies. Got the batting helmet. I like that shirt, Buccos. That's cool. Little Bucco right there. Medium Buccos.
Well, time to get the Buccos smiling again.
Baby
here.
Bucco.
No ice cream, just a cone. Good move.
Well, I wonder if all that ice cream ended up on the bib and then down in front. Seems to be content with the cone. Mama's got the nachos.
That nice soggy cone is perfect for that age.
Oh yeah. Jordy Mercer, then Stewart and Rodriguez, who came in on the double switch. De La Rosa has retired all 6 men in order that he's faced, coming into this outing with an ERA over 10. But has pitched better in a relief role. Jeff Locke's ERA goes up over a full run to 5.38. Again, trying to give him some distance. He threw 101 pitches, so helping that bullpen on a tough day. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, well, you're down 6 runs. Oh, man. Well, the Rockies here at this ballpark, this is their pitching statistics, where they rank in all of baseball.
It's why this game's not over yet, too. You're down by a bunch right now, but they can give up a bunch. Tough place to hit, or excuse me, pitch. It's just no getting around it. It's been like that forever. It seemed to kind of slow down for some reason when they had they kept the baseballs
in the humidor, right?
Yeah, where you keep the cigars.
Yeah,
and that really, I thought, did something. It seemed to me to be a big difference. Now, have they quit doing that, or
no? They still have the uniformity now of
what's happened.
Keeping the balls.
Now it's just like when they open the place.
Well, it's like you said, it's a very warm afternoon. Yeah. So during the day, it's 90 degrees or thereabouts at game time. Very dry today too.
But I mean, you look at the stats that we were showing now with the way they pitched here at home. I mean, that includes the cold games also. It's to me, in watching the games that we have, it's kind of looks like the original Coors.
I haven't seen the ball really jump today more than a normal ball, I guess. Let's see if Stewart can beat this out. Nope. Good play by the Gold Glover again.
He can do it, can he? Man.
He's one of the best that you don't know about.
Kind of Mike Schmidt-like, wouldn't you say?
Well, he's
standing with the defense and big-time power.
Shades of Brooks Robinson over there throwing across his body. Yeah, I'd say Schmidt. Yeah, Brooks Robinson.
Well, I don't think Brooks could hit with him.
Yeah, I mean, he's got more power.
Yeah, that's
Schmidt,
what I'm saying. Yeah. He's like Schmidt-like.
Schmidt, the greatest home run hitting third baseman.
And a great fielding third baseman. Multiple Gold Gloves.
Did he win one the year the Phillies won your rookie year?
I don't know. They were winning all kinds of stuff. MVPs, Cy Youngs. They were doing it all. Schmidt, a shortstop coming up.
Michael Jack Schmidt was indeed a Gold Glover in 1980. Led baseball in home runs that year. Led the National League in RBIs.
MVP that year, right?
And the MVP. First of 3 most valuable player awards for Schmidt. Rodriguez's first at bat today. Coming in at 2-6-2. Pirates still have not gotten on base against De La Rosa, who came on in relief in the 4th. And they say he went.
Wow.
Barely broke his wrists.
I'm not agreeing with that call.
And De La Rosa retires the 9 men he's faced so far.
Here we go, Friday. Let's get it done on a Friday night.
And get your weekend started off with the Bucks and some of the best bands in the burg. Friday Night Rocks. Get a dose of Pittsburgh's music scene as we feature local bands throughout Friday night Pirates games. Friday Night Rocks continues tomorrow when the Pirates take on the Cardinals here on Root Sports. And on our UPMC scoreboard, Pirates trail the Rockies 11-5 in that makeup game from back in April. Kyle Lobstein on in relief of Jeff Locke. Rayburn a 2-run triple back in the first. Story and Reynolds due up to follow. Lobstein just recalled today, taking the place of Jamison Tyone on the roster. The Pirates thought that they might need some pitching today, and sure enough, they're going to. Lobstein last pitched on Sunday, made a 3-inning start, so plenty of room to go today. Hadn't worked with the Pirates since back on May the 26th. Sean Rodriguez unhappy with that final strike call, and he said that he went around on that.
I don't believe he did. Sean very upset with the call. Went out and had a little conversation. Went out and had a conversation as Lobstein was warming up with the first base umpire, and must have kept it nice and calm.
Hello, kind sir, but I beg to differ with your call. I am still not convinced. Well, we'll agree to disagree. Ted Barrett, the crew chief.
You know, as long as you watch what you say and do it in a professional manner, umpires will let you have your say.
It's cool that we had him mic'd up like that. I like that.
I thought that was you. Lip reading.
Oh.
I didn't know you were so good at that.
Trevor Story, a base hit his last time. Her drink is on the left.
Raleigh glasses.
Well, toward the corner. Boy, it gets out there in a hurry, doesn't it? The ball jumps a little extra here in the thin air. Yeah. So Story's second hit today. Another low pitch the Rockies hit.
Yeah. Some low ball hitters.
So 1 out double for Story. Six extra base hits for Colorado. And 12 total hits. One shot to the right side. Jaso will get the second out. Story moves to third.
Right fielder, number 8.
And MLB.TV Premium is the #1 live streaming sports service. It delivers everything you've come to expect and more, with every out-of-market game live in HD on more than 400 supported devices. And it includes a free subscription to At-Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. No more lemonade. Honey, would you go get me some more? I gotta go all the way back there.
No, I'm not going back there.
There's somebody. Okay, next inning. Parra with a pair of singles. Shadows just starting to lurk over home plate now. This midday game here. And the cone is just now.
Almost gone.
To be inside a child's mind, huh?
Something up there very interesting. Now what happens when the cone is totally gone? Then what happens?
Parents freak out. Now what? This will be out number 3. Marte hauls that in, and Kyle Lobstein in an inning and a third scoreless in relief.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Kenny Ross, Total Confidence Pricing, and by Levin Furniture, the official furniture and mattress supplier to the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
Jorge De La Rosa back out for his 4th inning of relief. But he has yet to allow a base runner. That's a cool area up there. The Mile High up there, 5280 Club. I've been up there before. That's a nice spot where you can get a burger.
Really a great change they made to this ballpark. Got rid of it, almost the entire upper deck as far as seating goes, and put in all the eating establishments. De La Rosa's really changed this ball game around, hasn't he?
Well, we were talking about how, you know, it's gone back and forth, lots of runs. And De La Rosa has just quieted everything. Lopstein has done the same thing. Both starters today combining to give up all 16 runs. De La Rosa now 3 1/3 perfect innings. And Kyle Lopstein an inning and a third scoreless. Almost hit McCutchen. Got a base hit back in the third.
Pirates put up a 4 spot back in that 3rd inning. Got themselves right back in the ball game. Nothing since. On the other side, since that happened, the Rockies really went to work with the bats.
This one will go foul. Yeah, the Rockies and Pirates, 2 of the top 6 offenses in baseball coming into play today. John Hong-Gong not in there to start this affair. Polanco due up next. And a check swing this time.
Like Sean maybe asking about, talking about his check swing.
Wanted short by Story for out number 2.
Had the shift on. Story all the way over into the hole.
Right fielder, number 25, Gregory Polanco.
Let's take a look at our Nissan road ahead. There's been a lot of roads for the Pirates who have been traveling here, and they'll go back home tomorrow to host the Cardinals in a big weekend series. Michael Walker's really been struggling lately. They'll go against Garrett Cole and Carlos Martinez and Mike Leake. That's the St. Louis lineup. Liriano and Nice to follow. Liriano getting a little bit extra time to try to get back and right his ship, as he's had some rough waters lately.
The Cardinals will be coming from Cincinnati. They're in the 1st inning as we speak. It's the Reds. Liriano trying to get his ERA back down. It's up in the low 5s also.
Blanco almost beat that out. Jorge De La Rosa, an ERA of 10 coming in. 4 perfect innings of relief for the Rockies. Scoreboard. Tomorrow, Pirates will return home and host the Cardinals here today, trying to come from behind in an 11-5 game. And Hugs for a reliever.
Yeah, it must be done.
Sean Rodriguez now moving into center field. He was at second base. This one hit to right field. And over the head of Matt Joyce. He'll hold Garneau to a single. So Joyce in right now. And then replacing Rodriguez at second base. Cole Figueroa now in the ball game as well. And De La Rosa done after 4 innings of relief. Christian Adames pinch hitting. De La Rosa really changed the tenor of this game.
Absolutely. He is the big man on campus for the Rockies today. Even though they got all that offense, I mean, he totally changed the game around.
We'll get 1 on the force.
Center fielder, number 19.
Hey, tomorrow's a Free Shirt Friday at PNC Park when the Pirates host the Cardinals at 7:05. If you're one of the first 20,000 fans through the gates, you'll receive a free Pirates t-shirt presented by Xfinity. Get your tickets at pirates.com/FreeShirtFriday.
You know, I guess one thing is true no matter what ballpark you're in. It's whoever pitches better wins the game. And that's what De La Rosa did. Came in and pitched extremely well. And the game's still not over yet, but it's starting to look a little on the bleak side as we're edging toward the last couple of innings.
And the Rockies with action. Justin Miller, right-hander, be their next hurler. Blackman today, a couple of singles, 2-run single in the 5th. That was really tough because that took a 9-5 game, which still had the feeling of being at Coors Field, a close game in the 5th. Stretching it out to 11-5 and knocking Locke out of the ball game. Figueroa will get the lead out. Blackman runs too well to turn 2 on that.
Mercer couldn't get any momentum going toward first for his throw either. Went back on his heels as he tried to make that toss. Even though he has a very strong arm, that's kind of hard to do. See how he's kind of almost falling backwards and using just nothing but arm to get that ball over there. But it is a strong one. Pitched quite a bit in college.
Closer. Try it again. Getting the out on LeMahieu. The first time today. 8th inning coming up. 8th inning, Greg Brown doing the radio broadcast solo today.
He's up to
11-5
it.
Rockies on the UPMC scoreboard.
He's up to it.
Well, not solo. I guess that's his engineer behind him.
Just talking away. Oh, he's talking to an empty chair.
Oh, wait a minute.
He's again talking to an empty chair.
Oh, boy.
I guess that's. He's put the chair up on the table next to him.
Usually occupied by John Wayner. Already made plans. Christian Adames stays in the game at second base. And Miller time for the Rockies.
Justin Miller's numbers on the season: 25 innings, 22 ball games.
Marte freeze, and then the pitcher spot. Got a camera. What's that?
See one of those, an expensive camera.
Pirates still don't have a base runner since the 3rd inning.
One of those expensive German cameras.
You know your cameras?
I know that one.
Yeah. See, now that's the camera that most people
everyone
use these
has,
days.
yeah. I have an old decent, nice camera that uses film. I don't know what to do with it. I mean, I hate to just put it in a dumpster. Got all extra lenses and stuff. What do you do with something like that?
Maybe make it into pottery or something. Just planter or something like that.
I asked Dave Arrigo about it.
Maybe a collector, right? Somebody that likes antiques.
Well, he kind of said, nah.
2005.
He goes, they don't have much value. He's got a ton of them. And he said he's made bookends out of his.
Look at actual headphones.
No earbuds, huh?
Yeah, no earbuds, no giant DJ style headphones. It's either all or nothing these days on headphones. David Freese hit a home run way back in the 3rd inning. And the Pirates have been quieted since Chad Bettis was pulled from the game after 3. Not even a base runner against De La Rosa, who went 4 perfect. Now Miller. This game that at that time had a feel. It was 6-5. You're thinking, okay, great, anybody's ball game, and the Pirates have just
6-5 games wide open. Anybody could win.
Rockies kept going against Jeff Locke. Hey, baseball is holding the first-year player draft today, and the Phillies had the first pick. Mickey Moniak, an outfielder out of high school in California.
I thought you were going to say Mickey Morandini.
Mickey Morandini. No, it'll be another Mickey Mo. And then
how do you spell his last name? M-O.
Do you know? M-O-N-I-A-K?
I thought it was M-O-U-S-C. See, how do you spell mouse?
USC. And so Jung Ho Kang will pinch hit for Kyle Lobstein here as the Pirates get their first base runner since the 3rd.
M-I-C-K-E-Y. M-O-U-S-E.
Not yet time to say goodbye to all our friends and family. Still the 8th. And the Pirates still with a chance here in this ballpark. It's getting late, but you just don't know.
You're going to be watching an awful lot of the Mickey Mouse Club here in the next few years.
I'll get to know Annette and Frankie.
You'll know all of the modern version. You're going to know all the songs. Hot dog, hot diggity dog. That one is just etched in my brain.
Gung coming into today, the National League leader in slugging percentage over those who have 100 plate appearances. Not enough to qualify for Gung, but he has really stung the ball. Need him to here. The Pirates down a half dozen. Just missed.
Yeah, we need several stings. We need a swarm. We need the whole hive. Yeah, it can happen in this place. Just get that momentum going in a certain direction. It's like it can't be turned off.
And Gung strikes out pinch hitting here in the 8th.
Hard slider, 87, in an excellent location. Look at the spot it's in. So, you know, you see guys make pitches like that hard breaking slider in a good spot, and you think, see, look, the ball breaks here. I mean, can you throw
Got to spin it enough, right?
Can you throw a better slider than that? Well, I'm sure there's some degradation of the aerodynamic forces that affect the flight of the baseball.
You just used 2 10+ letter words back to back. Blowing my mind here. Like that guy's last name. Or first name, I'm not sure. Yeah, they'll get the force. And the Rockies again quieting the Pirates here in the 8th. Pirates 5. And just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Nolan Arenado will lead things off with Rayburn and Story to follow. Pirates going with their 3rd pitcher of the day.
Lupke's numbers just 4 2/3 innings. Haven't been out there very often.
I did see him yesterday. Gave up the run in the 10th inning, and the Mets ended up prevailing 6-5. Hey, how many times do you see a closer walk 3 of the first 4 guys in a 1-run game and get a save? That's what Juris Familia did with the Mets last night. The Pirates were going for the sweep. Arenado with a 2-run double, also a single tonight. Kyle Lobstein went 2 1/3, issued scoreless baseball. And now Lukey, who had a good stretch down in Indianapolis, the second time that he's gone down there. Arenado with his 3rd hit today. Now Lukey in that second stint with Indianapolis gave up 1 run over 6 innings, didn't walk a batter, and struck out 11. And Glenn Hurdle has continued to talk about how Lukey just needs reps. He hadn't pitched in pretty much 4 years. And didn't pitch half his spring training either because of that hamstring concern. And they're going to lift Arenado. Daniel Descalso will come in and pinch run.
Not going to be too many of the original lineup in this game when we get to the end, doesn't look like. Pirates have pulled a lot of their starters.
McCutchen, Polanco both out. Arenado done after a 3-hit day.
Jay Hay out of there.
Hold on that double switch.
One thing about the Pirates bench, they get work.
It's very unclear who's the bench sometimes and who's the regular starters, which is a good thing. Strike 3 call, and that's out number 1 here in the 8th.
A breaking ball that came in, just cut the top part of the strike zone.
Well, if Lupke can start showing some effectiveness, the Pirates really don't have that lefty reliever. I mean, Tony Watson is left-handed, but he's used either in the 7th or 8th innings, depending on where the order falls. I mean, he's a setup guy, so to speak. So if you get that second left-hander, like the Pirates had Bastardo last year, if Lupke can ascend to that, then he can really have some added value.
Yeah, it's kind of a luxury you don't see many teams have that second lefty. A lot of them that if they do have him, he's a specialist to come in and get a left-hander out in a key situation and maybe end an inning.
We're seeing fewer and fewer of those types of guys now too.
It's hard to find guys that can do that and do it very effectively. There's some guys that kind of hang on, but if you're going to be that specialist, there can't be any, like, I'm going to get that guy out third of the time or quarter of the time. No, it's got to be every time. If you're going to take a spot on the roster just to get a left-hander out occasionally, you got to be every single time with it.
Tony Watson's been so good against lefties and righties, so just use him in key situations. 3-2 now on Story. Story with a pair of hits. Now the Pirates have won 8 straight games here at this ballpark. The Rockies look like they're going to break this one up after Pirates in that series against Colorado back here in April. They were beaten down the Rockies, knocking out the starters early, as they did today again. Chad Bettis only lasted 3 innings, but it's been the bullpen today that has really saved this one for Colorado.
Again, for me, this game's all about De La Rosa. Totally changed everything, shut down the Pirates as soon as he came in, and then the Rockies kept on hitting like they started the ball game, and that was it.
And Lubke comes back to strike out Story for the second out.
What is De La Rosa? 4 shutout innings.
4 perfect innings, yeah. A cutter or something?
Yeah, got that ball up underneath his hands. Nice pitch.
Mark Reynolds 0 for 4 on a day where the Rockies have played at 11. Pirates will have Stewart, Rodriguez, and Jaso due up in the 9th. The Rockies bullpen holding the Pirates hitless since the 3rd. You just don't see that. I don't care what ballpark you're in. This lineup going dry that long, that often. A couple of times in Miami, and beside that, hard to remember the prior time before that.
Now, the Pirate offense has been pretty strong right from opening day.
Chad Qualls ready for the 9th. Now 3-2 after being ahead. Lukey trying to get it to the 9th. Haro would be next. And ball 4 after a couple of strikeouts from Lukey. Not able to get Reynolds, who reaches for the first time today. We've seen some good stuff from Lukey, but just not that consistency here at this level yet. Great comeback story. Missing basically 4 years. He did have a rehab stint during that 4-year span, but then injury waylaid him again. Now a left-handed batting Parra, so this is interesting. You know, how does he approach the left-handed batter? You know, what we're talking about, having a second lefty. It wasn't a very good swing.
So it's, as you say, interesting at bat. Watch him, see how he handles Parra.
Jammed him. And Rodriguez able to hold it in to end the frame. Hitting a walk to left. Last chance for the Buccos coming up in the 9th. Series against the St. Louis Cardinals. The Bucs will have Garrett Cole on the mound. You can see the first game of that series tomorrow, starting at 6:30 with Pirates pregame, presented by WB Mason, right here on Root Sports. And here they're going to need to come from behind late, down a half dozen in the ninth.
Makes you want to get out your fly rod. Tossing some flies around, huh? Full of trout, from what I hear. The pond out there.
Maybe they can hit some out there against Chad Qualls.
Qualls. See if he can get the last three.
Daniel Descalso stays in the game at third base. He pinch ran for Arenado. Where Stewart will lead it off. Drove in a run with a base hit back in the third. That was the last Pirates hit. We just were told that the Rockies had made their first pick in the draft.
Grabbed a pint, huh?
Indeed. Yeah, the fourth pick overall. Riley Pint, a high schooler out of Kansas. So Walt Weiss in the future will have, what'd you say, a Pint pitching at Coors?
Yeah.
How many puns are they going to come up with?
I don't know. They're going to have a huge jar here.
Well, the Rockies took him one pick before the Brewers, so that would have really been something.
Yeah, this always that little bit of war.
Strike three call for out number one.
Cardinals were probably hoping he'd fall down so they could pitch at Bush.
That says Polanco is my boy. Cool shirt. Clemente jersey. Pirates hoping for a late rally, but tough here with down 6. They have not been able to get anything against this Rockies bullpen. Foul ball. Without a hit into now the 6th inning of relief from Colorado. Plenty of fun names. The A's in a baseball draft take A.J. Puck. Pitcher out of the University of Florida.
Huh.
So maybe the Golden Seals or something like that.
I know you said earlier, what number are we picking this year?
22.
22
is the first selection.
Oh, that's could be good luck. That's McCutcheon's number.
Ah, I like the tie-in. Francisco Cervelli getting the day off today. Pirates will also be drafting 41st overall as well, as Rodriguez called out on strikes. He's not been very happy today. He had a check swing where he was called out on strikes, so now where's this one? In the zone.
Right there at the very top. $24,678 coming in after this makeup game. Many of whom hoping that the Rockies will win this one-game affair. John Jaso 1 out of 4 today.
strike. Pirates will gather back up after arriving in the early morning hours. Get back home and continue the homestand against the Cardinals. And that is the ball game. The Rockies bullpen over 6 innings today keeps the Pirates hitless and scoreless. And Colorado wins an early wild game 11-5.
Long trip and not very fruitful, but nothing to do about it now. Got to try and get some sleep on that plane and get ready for that very important 3-game series against the Cardinals. That's what you got to look at right now. Turn the page on this one.
Try to keep the Cardinals behind them. Here again, the final. Colorado 11 and the Pirates 5. Let's go back to the studios with post-game show. Robin Teak.